Choice Live.
So much engagement, so to make the official opening remarks, I'd like to take this moment to ask you to join us in welcoming our first speaker. Please welcome the Minister of Youth and Culture, Honorable Rosemary Mbabazi.
Thank you very much. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Rwanda, Your Excellency, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, Your Excellency, the Vice President of African Development Bank, Honorable Ministers in charge of Youth Affairs and colleagues, Excellencies, Heads of Diplomatic Mission, friends and partners from United Nations agencies, private, public sector and civil society, and our young people, good morning, bonjour. It's an honor and pleasure, Your Excellency, to see you here joining us, and we are all delighted to welcome the young people from the continent and welcome them to the land of 1,000 years and 1,000,000 opportunities in Rwanda. Allow me to convey our gratitude to you all for honoring our invitation to the 5th Youth Connect Africa Summit 2022 edition. I hope you feel at home, especially for those who are visiting us for the first time. Allow me to thank you, Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Rwanda, for your time, sir, and dedication and trust in the young people. We thank you very much for being a global champion for youth empowerment. Being with us here today and amidst your busy schedules is a valued opportunity that the young people cannot afford to take for granted. We wish to recognize His Excellency, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, who had to fly in this morning to be with the youth of Africa. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. In our midst, Your Excellencies, if you may allow, I just want to mention the ministers in charge of youth who are with us, and they came with big delegations from their countries. I'll just mention the countries and they rise up later for recognition, if you allow, Your Excellencies. We have the honorable ministers in charge of youth from Sierra Leone, Gambia, Tanzania, Malawi, Eswatini, Uganda, Cape Verde, Central African Republic, Niger, Mali, Namibia, Guinea-Bissau. You can also support others. Guinea-Bissau, Guinea-Conakry, Congo-Brazzaville, Senegal, Ghana, Liberia, and of course Rwanda. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for excitement. Allow me to recognize my colleagues. Can you rise up for recognition? There's a few minutes, honorable ministers present here. Thank you very much. Youth Connect Africa Summit is a continental youth gathering with a goal to connect youth with their peers, leaders, role models, skills and resources to promote employability skills and also access finance and civic engagement and enhance entrepreneurship opportunities. It is built on the belief that young people are trustees of the prosperity of our continent embedded in the Agenda 2063 for African Union. It conveys a strong message that we cannot build the future for our youth, rather build our youth for the future. Young people, you have a market of 1.2 billion to serve, a continent to connect through technology and innovation, agriculture to transform, and also digital and gender gaps to close, as well as an environment to protect. Just to mention a few, this calls for your commitment, your zeal, your determination, and resilience from the youth and the entire ecosystem support. The youth of Africa, let's not give up on our continent. Africa is all that we have. When you are resilient, Africa will be resilient. Ten years ago, His Excellency the President of the Republic of Rwanda launched Youth Connect in Rwanda. It is now a Pan-African platform, now operational in 30 African countries, coordinated by the head of the hub, Ms. Uli Keita from Mali, here with us. This was possible because of a strong network of esteemed partners. Allow me to recognize our partners in this journey 10 years ago. UNDP, COICA, FDB, MasterCard Foundation, Imbuto Foundation, UNICEF, Generation Unlimited, UN Women, FAO, UNFPA, Catholic Relief Services, SOS, World Vision, Akazikanozi, and many more. Your partnership is much appreciated. As I conclude, young people use this opportunity to learn, to connect, to share your experiences, but also grow your network as we transform our continent. I thank you very much for your kind attention.
Thank you so much, Honorable Minister, for those warm and most is one of those invaluable partners that the Youth Connect team has. So on behalf of the UN Development Agency, please welcome the UNDP Country Representative for Rwanda, Mr. Maxwell Gomera.
Perezida wa Repubulika y'u Rwanda, President Paul Kagame, Your Excellency Vice President, Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, Your Excellency Deputy President of the African Development Bank, Excellencies Minister here, colleagues from the UN family, wonderful children of Africa, good morning. Every year, Your Excellency, between 4,000 and 5,000 startups are founded, most of them by young people. Up to 80% of them fail to reach the stage of investment. And that results in a lot of lost jobs, lost capital, broken hearts. Whenever I think about young people and the startups of Africa, I think about the story of my own mother. I grew up in a small town in Zimbabwe. It's called Kadoma. My mother was a greengrocer. She used to sell tomatoes for us to survive. My mother went to every bank in town trying to find some capital to develop her business. She was young, under 40. She had a 12-year-old to look after. But like many informal businesses in town, especially those part of her dream. Thinking back, my mother would have benefited immensely from a banking system that understands Africa, that understands some of the conditions that informal businesses in Africa, and especially those run by young people of Africa, operating. Instead, the business stayed small. her dreams stayed small, mainly just her and me. During school holidays, Your Excellency, I would join my mother in her journeys through the Sabbath with a big dish of tomatoes on my head to deliver tomatoes. To my mind, my mother invented vuba vuba and Uber before it became fashionable. We used to keep very good notes on our customers. My mother knew her customers very well, long before the banks even invented Know Your Customer. My mother was doing it. But all of that did not come to fruition, and times were hard, and getting harder, especially for a woman during that time. The currency was losing value, and eventually, as conditions became difficult, she had to scale down her business. By the time we got the environment right, the big supermarkets had taken over her business. Now I'm reminded of my mother's story when I look at the state of young people and their ambitions in Africa today. Like my mother then, young people do not have access to the funding that they need to be able to run their businesses. Up to 42% of young people fail to get that funding. Like my mother, sometimes those young people, their dreams remain a hobby. They are unable to scale the challenge between their dream and going to the market, getting the first 100 customers. And they do not have access to mentorship. The best businesses in the world are those who are able to understand detail and to be able to put a pitch deck that will wow everybody. They do not have access to that. Yet this is a thing that we can solve, Your Excellency. And I'm so delighted that with your leadership, Your Excellency, Rwanda is leading the world. I take inspiration from this story, Your President, when I look at Africa's prospects. Africa's prosperity needs supercharging, with youth as an engine for growth. We can harness the power of Africa's youth, of everybody in here, when we have support offers that enable the best ideas to grow to scale. That is the basic bargain that we can give to our children, the youth of Africa. Now, my mother did not manage to build a strong business. She built a strong enough business which supported her family. And although she did not live long enough to witness it, today, the son that she supported through school is the resident representative of the United Nations Development Program here in Rwanda. There are many such stories, and I'm glad that we have your leadership to improve on those stories. Thank you.
Excellency, President of the Republic of Rwanda, Your Excellency, Vice President of the Republic of Kenya, Honorable Ministers, members of diplomatic corps, AU Commission leaders, UN agencies, and international organizations, distinguished guests, dear Africa's youth, good morning. It's my distinct honor to be here today to witness this milestone Youth Connect Africa Summit 2022. First of all, I would like to appreciate the Youth Connect Africa Hub, the government of Rwanda, and UNDP for all endeavors in preparing this event with more than 10,000 participants. Most importantly, I believe that the participation of all the youth has made this initiative possible. It is a great achievement that Youth Connect Africa Hub now is one of the implementing partners of the African Union, which will lead Africa's youth from 28 countries to move forward globally representing their continent. The Korean government has supported Youth Connect Africa initiative since 2019 under a solidarity partnership with the Rwandan government and UNDP, contributing to expanding the program nationally and then regionally. Korea and Africa, despite geographical distance, cooperation and partnership in development, economy and culture have been immensely strengthened for the last 4 decades. Last March, the Korean government successfully held the 5th Korea-Africa Forum with the African Union inviting various delegates from African countries and planning in the near future to host Korea-Africa Summit with the African leaders. 19% of the Korean government ODA disbursement are allocated to African countries, which positions the African continent as the second largest region, followed by neighboring Asian countries implementing projects in sectors like agriculture, education, health, ICT, and environment. In particular, the Korean government's Development Cooperation Agency, KOICA, has established the Africa Regional Cooperation Strategy with its regional-based approach. KOICA is working to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals by applying an integrated approach and customized cooperation. Furthermore, as the new African Continental Free Trade Area has been embarked upon, the mutual exchanges and partnerships are expected to deepen, together with growing people-to-people exchanges. In this light, this year's theme, Accelerating Investment in Youth, Resilient Africa, is significant, considering that the youth under 36 years of age contribute 65% of the African population, and they can become a vibrant engine that can lead not only Africa, but also the world in sustainable development. In order to unleash the potential of the youth as future generations on the global stage, we need to bring our attention to all 7 thematic areas of this summit, which are regarding climate change, peace, digitalization, and future agriculture. One of the thematic areas, en route to COP27, will inspire all of us as the actual concerned parties to think about how Africa's youth can take a leading role in the climate challenges the global world are facing. I believe that the other thematic area, Youth Discourse for Peace, will discover the meaning of a peace-building system to the youth. We can start the discussion by talking about the humanitarian development peace nexus. Lastly, the Forum on the Future of Agriculture and Food Systems in Africa will provide the poor with opportunities to have discussions on how to prepare for the future in the agricultural sector, which is the largest industry that accounts for more than 32% of Africa's overall GDP. The foundation that lies under the theme of this summit, accelerating investment in youth, resilient Africa, includes knowledge, experience, and skills. For knowledge, the Korean government is cooperating in various sectors of ICT, education, and socio-economic development by providing localized consultation, capacity building, and infrastructure establishment. For experience, we provide mutual cultural exchange opportunities through scholarship programs in Korea and Korean volunteers work in the country. These experiences combined with ICT programs, which will make it more feasible for the future generation. Lastly, the most important factor which leads to the digital era for skills. The Korean government is increasing cooperation for enhancing the vocational training curriculum upon the demand of the labor market and incubating new IT enterprises. Your Excellency, Mr. President, distinguished guests, dear Africa's youth, cooperation in the above-mentioned diverse field proves that Korea and Africa are not in a one-way relationship, and the government of the Republic of Korea will continue share its experience and strategies from the unique development journey accelerated by investing in youth, based on a long-term and trust-based partnership. When we stand together, we can develop together. I'd like to conclude my remarks by reiterating Korea's commitment to remaining a third partner of Africa, Rwanda, and UNDP in their effort for the development of Africa's youth to achieve a resilient and inclusive economy and society in Africa. Thank you.
President of the Republic of Rwanda, His Excellency Paul Kagame, Ministers of Youth, AU Commission leaders, development partners, international organizations, private sector representatives, the civil society, representatives of academia, youth entrepreneurs, youth leaders, innovators, students, artists, the youth of Africa, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I bring you greetings from the President of the Republic of Kenya, Dr. William Samoei Ruto. I also bring you a message of love and goodwill from your colleagues, the young people of the great Republic of Kenya. I'm grateful to join all of you for the 5th edition of the Youth Connect Africa Summit. I'm glad because I believe the continuous dialogue about young people and the consequent actions are the definitive elements in the calculations of Africa's prosperity at this moment in time. The truth is, outside of young people, Africa is not going to discover any new significant forces or resources for transformative growth, especially living as we are at a time in history when the world is shaking off global pandemic, adapting to climate change, and crisis of food insecurity and high cost of living. Ladies and gentlemen, young people are on the front lines of the socio-economic challenges that bedevil our nations, whether it's unemployment, access to capital, climate change, food security, or exclusion. That is why I find the theme, accelerating investments in youth, resilient youth, resilient Africa, an honest expression of what our collective desire for growth and prosperity demands from us, an investment in our young people. This is especially critical because the youth are the majority in Africa and in my own country, Kenya. It is vital to strategically acknowledge this majority. The use of the word investment signals some kind of return, and for most of us in this room, we talk endlessly about demographic dividend. There are two key points that I fear get lost in the conversation about this great prosperity that we love to call the demographic dividend. As every entrepreneur knows, the decisive point in any venture is the work that happens between investment and return. By this I mean to propose that we must bring a working attitude to investing in young people. The investment that we make is one not just in currency but in sweat, tenacity, and unrelenting effort across the private and public sector. What we do today will not be enough. We must come back tomorrow and work harder. The second point is that we realize the demographic dividend of a continent where the majority of people are young. The first fruits of the harvest must go to the young people. This is the only way to empower our people. I applaud Youth Connect for representing this truth in action and for creating this wonderful platform for all of us to work towards a wholesome demographic dividend. Ladies and gentlemen, investing in the youth, as our administration sees it, begins with placing the youth agenda in a predominant position of our national development agenda. This is informed and powered by their participation and the Kenyan Constitution, which expressly provides that the state must take measures to ensure a fulsome participation by the young people in social, economic, and political life of our nations. Further, there are international instruments, such as the International Convention on Economic and Social Rights, to which Kenya is a signatory, the East African Youth Policy, African Union Agenda 2063, the United Nations Strategy for Youth 2014, and the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs. To answer the express dictates of our Constitution, the Kenyan National Youth Policy 2019 was developed to guide and energize our path to full inclusion of our young people. It is for that reason that we are here today to join the youth of Africa to tell you in a nutshell, you are the future of this continent. We want to tell our young people that the people of this continent, especially the elder population, is in your hands. You have what it takes to take this continent to the next level. And granted, age is on your side. You have the energy, you have the passion, you have the zeal, and most importantly, you have the brains that we need to turn around this continent. We want to urge the youth of Africa to take your rightful role and dictate the path of development in this continent that was in a derogatory manner referred many decades ago as a sleeping giant. Fate has conspired to challenge you to take leadership, to show the way forward, to change the way things have been done traditionally. This is a creative age. This is the tech age. This is the creative age. This is the innovative age. The leaders of this age are the young people of Africa. And please, Don't shy away from responsibility. Don't shy away from responsibility. This continent depends on you. You have the ideas. You have the creativity. You have the energy. You have the motivation. All that remains is for you to occupy your space and do what must be done. In my country, Kenya, we told our young people to take over leadership in all spheres of life. In the last election that we held on the 9th of December, our National Assembly has 349 members. Young people of your age went to the elections, traveled around the country, sold the youth agenda, convinced the people of Kenya that they have what it takes to lead them, to change their ways of life, to improve their quality of life. And the people of Kenya were so persuaded. And in the elections of the 9th of August, the people of Kenya indicated in a very strong statement their faith and belief in the young people. And 33% of all the members of the National Assembly elected are below the age of 35 years. The Kenyan National Assembly is in the hands of the young people. It's up to them now to set the youth agenda. It's up to them now to push for what the youth of that country want. I'm challenging you, the youth of Africa. When you go back home, take leadership positions in your countries. Get into government. Get into your parliament. Push the youth agenda from inside. I want to challenge the youth of Africa. Take your rightful place in the decision-making table. Where all decisions are made, let the youth be represented, and in a very big way, so that your voice can be loud and your voice can count. And when I was invited to come for this conference on behalf of my president, and we want to thank President Kagame, because you have shown the leaders of Africa in a great way to trust the young people and to give them an opportunity to excel. Many leaders across the world are scared of inviting the young people to come to the decision-making table for fear that they will replace them. President Kagame has shown the way for the world by mentoring young people, by giving them an opportunity to make a contribution to humanity and to mankind, to allow them space to get involved in the economies of their countries. And we salute you, President Kagame, for believing in our young people. To demonstrate how practical it is for our young people to take over leadership in Africa and chart the path for our young people from inside and from the decision-making table. I came with 12 young leaders just to present to this conference, who were elected just the other day and whom we have given immense responsibilities in the National Assembly so that the young people can start taking their rightful place in the leadership of this continent and charting the way forward in matters economy, finance, investment, and ICT. I'd like to ask our leaders whom I came with, I'd like to introduce them to this conference so that you can see Are they near? You can see the youth people. I came with the Honorable Silvanus Osoro. He is the chief whip of the majority in the National Assembly of the Republic of Kenya. Young as he is. I came with the Honorable Dinezolo, second member of Parliament, who is the chairman of the Budget and Appropriation Committee of the National Assembly. And all the resources of the Republic of Kenya are in the hands of that young man. I came with the Honorable Patrick Munene, who is a senior member in the Health Committee. I came with one of the miracles of our country, a little young girl. This young girl she is 24 years old, and she was elected as the women representative of Bomet County and defeated mature, experienced women. She is called Linet Toto, and Toto is a Kiswahili meaning the small one. I came with the Honorable Kiborek, a young man from Baringo County. I have with me the Honorable Mohammed Ali from the county of Mombasa. I have with me the Honorable Pamela Joki, the women representative of Ebu County. I have with me the Honorable Vincent Kawaya from Machakos County. I have with me who was then the youngest member of Parliament in the last election in the entire National Assembly, the Honorable John Paul Mweregi. I came with me with the Honorable Ken Aramat. I came with the Honorable Joseph Lemegit. And I came with the youngest senator in the Republic of Kenya, the Honorable Karondo Thana. When I made the decision to come with this team, I just wanted to demonstrate to the youth of Africa that it is possible for you to take your rightful place on the decision-making table. Finally, Your Excellency, it is important that we say, much as we encourage our youth in Africa to take their rightful place and take leadership in matters, investment, in business, in ICT, in leadership, it is not possible if those of us who have been given an opportunity to lead do not create the right political stability and environment to allow them to prevail. It is for that reason that I want to take this opportunity to salute the President of Rwanda for the political stability that you have established in this great country. Those of us who are students of political science and history know the journey that you have gone through in terms of redeeming this country from ethnicity to creating very serious political stability, and you have now engaged on a serious economic transformation of this great republic. And we urge all the leaders of Africa to give our young people space to take their rightful role. Let us create political and economic stability to create the right environment for our young people. With those very many remarks, Mr. President, I've been asked by my president and the young people of Kenya to request with humility for you to consider giving the young people of Kenya the opportunity to host Youth Connect next year. If that request is granted, in anticipation, I welcome you to the great city of Nairobi and to the Kenyan nation, where people are very hospitable and where we have abundance of Africa's widest wildlife species that you can come and have a look. With those very many remarks, I salute the youth of Africa. We respect you, we love you, we have hope in you. Thank you very much.
Excellency, Rigathi Gachagua, Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, distinguished senior members of government, ministers of youth who are here, diplomatic corps, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, and in particular, the young people of our continent. It is a great pleasure to welcome you all to Rwanda and to the 5th edition of Youth Connect Africa. Before I proceed, I want to thank again the heads of state who joined us virtually, the President of Senegal, Chair of the African Union, the President of Namibia, all who joined us for this summit. Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, I want to thank you and please extend my thanks to my brother, President William Ruto, the President of the Republic of Kenya. I want to thank you for joining us in person, the President, and thank the members of your delegation also for being with us. As for the final request we make, I think with your remarks, everybody around seemed to be persuaded. I can speak on my own behalf, but also, I guess, on behalf of others. So you might see us in Nairobi in bigger numbers than there are here. For looking forward to that. It has already been 10 years since this important forum was launched right here in Rwanda. Youth Connect has become a powerhouse bringing together thousands of young people every year to contribute solutions and learn from each other. I thank all partners and friends for being part of this journey from the beginning, with particular recognition of the United Nations Development Program, UNDP, and the Korea International Cooperation Agency, KOICA. A big thank you goes to every young person in this room. With your insights and innovations, you are leading the way for a more resilient Africa. Youth Connect helps us to tell these success stories, get to know each other better, and build solidarity. Africa is not a continent of problems, not at all. Yes, there are problems, but where don't we find problems? The world over, there are problems. So we have to deal with our own problems, but we are not a continent of problems. At least, we must also, and as leaders, we must also do our part to recognize that young people are equal partners in our development agenda. We know you have ideas on how to trade more effectively, build stronger health systems, combat climate change, reduce inequality, and much more. We therefore have a duty to listen to you, and work with you. I think the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya said much to that. Allow me to leave you with this piece of advice. Hard work, even if it is smart work as well, without purpose is not fulfilling. Therefore, we must also bear in mind the purpose. Who we are, what we want to be, where we want to go, and all that driven in our minds by having a purpose. May I add that with that purpose, you can add a little bit of discipline. Discipline guides us, measures, and lets us know the excesses we have to deal with, whether personally or at the level of society. Have you ever had anywhere anybody complaining about having a bit of heard of anybody who lost this or that because of discipline. So let's try it a little bit in our daily lives. It will serve us well. It helps people think, put value to every step of their way. It guides us in the right direction. Whether it is politics, it is a bit of this thing. Whichever part of life, it should involve a bit of that. Of course, everything in excess has its own problems. So again, I'm saying just try, even with a little bit, and we will be where we want to be. 28 years ago, when Rwanda was at its lowest point, our country and the people dared to dream big, to give ourselves something to look forward to every day. We worked hard and worked together to overcome division, provide justice, and build prosperity. For the past 2 decades, this vision has become Rwanda's purpose and the reason for everything that we do. I always want to thank the people of Rwanda for their understanding and embracing these principles that have taken us this far. Whatever your purpose, do not get discouraged by doubts. Begin by not doubting yourself. Try to overcome that. And ultimately, you, your family, your country, and our continent will be better off for it. Once again, I want to thank you for being with us. I wish you a successful summit and an enjoyable stay in Rwanda. And thank again those people who joined us from outside in person or virtually. We are looking forward to even more productive summit next time. Thank you for listening. And I'm looking very much forward to our interaction in a few moments. Wish you all the best.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Thank you for your encouraging words and for empowering young people to fulfill their purpose and their potential. We're looking forward to
The Choice Live.